thank you for coming today. I am pleased to present the proposed budget highlights for the Ministry of Housing and Municipalities for the 2026-2027 fiscal year. Access to safe and affordable accommodation directly affects families, workforce stability, and the strength of our communities. This budget takes a disciplined and practical approach to expanding supply, strengthening neighborhoods, and delivering housing solutions that support Bermudians now and into the future. The ministry oversees the Bermuda Land Management Corporation, the Bermuda Housing Corporation, the Bermuda Housing Trust, the Morgan's Point Development Company, the Corporation of Hamilton, and the Corporation of St. George's. With the exception of the Bermuda Housing Corporation, which receives an operating grant, these entities are largely self-funded. For 2026-2027, the ministry's proposed total operating budget is $8,206,000, an increase of $652,000 or 9% over the previous year. Ministry headquarters is allocated $937,000, a 3% increase, primarily due to salary-related adjustments. The Bermuda Housing Corporation will receive an operating grant of $7,229,000, a 6% increase. This reflects costs associated with approximately 60 new housing units, expanded maintenance and make-ready works, electrical and plumbing upgrades, landscaping and remedial repairs. It also funds 2 additional posts, a project manager and a support services officer, along with collective bargaining adjustments, payroll tax, pension contributions, and supervisory coverage for rooming houses. The proposed capital grant funds total $32,863,000, an increase of $9.9 million, or 43% over the previous year. Within this, the Bermuda Housing Corporation capital grant of $11,517,508 supports loan repayments and utility repairs within Prospect. The residential grant increases from $6.5 million to $15.3 million, supporting continued renovation of the public housing inventory and Phase 1 of the draft affordable housing strategy. Additional capital grants total $5,990,000, including support for the Corporation of St. George's and capital assistance to the Bermuda Land Management Company Corporation. This budget is not only about allocation, but also about delivery. More than 30 publicly owned sites, primarily under the Bermuda Land Management Corporation and the Bermuda Housing Corporation, have been identified for development. 6 priority sites have been selected and 3 sites are confirmed for accelerated development. Together, these 3 sites will deliver more than 200 new homes within the next 18 months, primarily 1-bedroom units with a mix of affordable and attainable homes available for rent and/or sale. Construction will use precast concrete and/or modular methods to control costs and accelerate these timelines. Financing will come from local financial institutions supported by a government guarantee, with delivery overseen by the Bermuda Housing Corporation and the Bermuda Land Management Corporation. Housing investment is economic investment. We are also responding to immediate needs. 9 modular units have been procured for installation at Bowes Island to provide transitional housing, with arrival expected within the next 5 to 6 weeks. Active Bermuda Housing Corporation projects include the following. Harmony Terrace North, 16 studio units. Battery Road, Phase 2, 12 units. Chelsea Apartments in St. George's, 5 units. Middletown, 4 two-bedroom units. These projects will deliver 37 new affordable housing units, with the majority coming online in the next 6 to 7 months. Looking ahead, works commencing at 13 Middletown, 9 King Street, 45 Elliott Street, 39 Battery Road, and the Swanston property will add a further 16 units to the pipeline. Taken together, and subject to approval, this budget advances 200 plus homes in the next 18 months, 37 units delivered in the next 6 to 7 months, 16 additional units commencing soon, 9 traditional modular units, which, as I said, will be here in the next 5 to 6 weeks. This totals 262 homes within the next 18 months. Nearly 60% of all applicants on the Bermuda Housing Corporation's wait list require studios or one-bedroom units. And this pipeline aligns supply with that demand, while also strengthening the 2- and 3-bedroom family inventory. Legislative amendments to modernize governance under the Municipalities Act 1923 will also progress, alongside the infrastructure improvements at Mary Victoria, Alexander Road, and Cedar Park, including lighting, water, and wastewater upgrades. As we approach 2026-2027, we remain focused on practical solutions that address immediate pressures while strengthening the long-term affordability. This is a long-term commitment to Bermuda's future, and I look forward to updating the public as we build a more secure and affordable housing landscape for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. At this time, we welcome questions from the media for Minister DeSilva.
Thank you, Minister, for your remarks. Elisa Bernardo with Bermuda Broadcasting News. And my first question, when will you exactly be breaking ground at the 6 priority sites that your ministry has identified for housing?
Not soon enough. But in all honesty, we're looking at breaking ground seriously with really, not soon enough, as quickly as we possibly can. We're having conversations with colleagues within the ministry, our technical officers, with the planning department. All the stakeholders involved know the urgency, and they know my timeline, which is yesterday.
So no exact date, though, within the next few weeks or months?
Well, as I said, the 9 modular units that we expect to receive in the next 5 to 6 weeks. Next week, we hope to break ground at Boas Island to start clearing that site. The sites have been identified. We currently have a team that are visiting the United States and also Barbados to talk to manufacturers about the timelines that we need. And when they return, which will be on Thursday, I'll get an update. And with that, we'll start to move really, really quickly.
Okay. And you cited that your budget supports the addition of more than 200 homes within the next 18 months. What would you say to critics who might argue that sounds too good to be true?
Well, the proof will be in the pudding. You will know I've talked about different methods of construction over the last 8 months. That's exactly where we're going. We're looking at creating precast homes, and we're going to do them quickly. It's been done before. My contention is that it will be done again in Bermuda. Probably the first time in Bermuda. That quick and that many. But okay. I'm gonna stick to my guns on it, and I'm gonna hold everybody's feet to the fire. And I know you hold my feet to the fire too.
Yes. And where does the Bermuda Housing Corporation waitlist now stand for affordable housing?
It's just over 350.
And Minister, you also cited more than 30 publicly owned sites that have been identified for housing development. Is Morgan's Point among any of the locations on that list?
They are not.
Okay. And just lastly from myself, is there any mention of the Bermudiana residences in your priority for this fiscal year, or will the current model that's at that site be remaining in place?
The current model will remain in place, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Afternoon, Minister, and
Good
thanks.
afternoon, Jonathan.
Jonathan Bell from the Raw Gazette. Yeah, okay. So there was a mention of 3 accelerated development sites that you were hoping to get through in the next 18 months. Forgive me if I missed it, but are you able to tell us what those sites are?
I can. One will be in Dockyard. The other will be in Southampton, which is opposite Dr. Can Park, which is right behind Port Royal Gas Station.
Okay.
And the third will be down in St. David's,
Possible to get where in St. David's?
on the Bermuda Land Management Company's property.
Okay.
In and around, I've said it before, in and around Tommy Fox Road.
Oh, okay. So there's been mention of modular homes and precast housing. Would it be correct to say if we're looking at modular housing, that's going to be imported, whereas precast could be done locally? I think the Bierman folks did precast housing or experimented with it some time back.
About a century ago, yeah.
Yeah.
No, the precast homes will be imported.
They'll be imported. Can you give an idea of the balance in terms of, is precast going to predominate?
Predominate,
As in, would that be more the option than the modular housing?
yes, absolutely.
Any rough idea of how much, 3/4, say, I mean, just roughly?
100% precast at the moment.
100% precast at the moment. Well, except for
The 9 capsules. that are-
Bose Island, yeah.
Except for those 9, yes.
Okay. Could you give some indication of what's going to be happening with Albert and Victoria Row?
Yes, you will know there are historical challenges with the water, sewage, and lighting, and that's where the focus is going to be. We've allotted $2 million for that.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So there was some brief mention in the budget statement of housing tax credits and some investment in that. Are you able to tell us a bit more about that?
Actually, no. The Premier is yet to have those conversations
Okay.
with the folks that are receiving the credits.
I wanted to ask, there's been talk over the years of high-rise housing, loosening height restrictions within Hamilton, which I'm going to guess, for example, I passed one place on the way over here. That's going to be less on the affordable housing range and more on the high-end range. Is that an opportunity that your ministry is looking at, or is that a can for further down the line?
Maybe you've been talking to some of my people. The city of Hamilton we have looked at. We have a site on Ewing Street, which is part of the plan going forward. You'll hear about that in the next couple of months. But we certainly have that property in particular earmarked for just that, high-rise, affordable housing to rent.
And that was Ewing Street you mentioned?
Ewing Street, yes.
Got you. Lastly, for me, what's this? Oh, yeah, the economic empowerment zones, which are expanded in Hamilton. Just roughly, are people taking advantage of that?
I think some people are. Certainly the last 10 years will show that some people have taken advantage. I know that there are several private owners that are looking at doing something similar to what the ministry is doing in those areas. So watch that space.
And would that space be outside of what we traditionally associate with the EEZ in Hamilton? Because they broadened it quite a deal.
No, it will be within the economic zone.
All righty. Thanks for that, Minister.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
Okay, with that, there's no more questions for Minister DeSilva. I now welcome Minister Furbert to the podium to give her remarks.
Okay.
Thank you, and good afternoon, Bermuda. Today, I will share with you the key initiatives that will be supported by the 2026-27 budget allocation for the Ministry of Youth, Social Development, and Seniors. This year, the ministry has been allocated $97.2 million, an increase of $6 million or 6.57%. The operational budget for the ministry headquarters is $16.1 million. This funding strengthens our ability to support seniors, empower young people, assist working families, and protect the most vulnerable in our community. Now I will provide an overview of the initiatives under the ministry's remit. A major initiative within this budget is the creation of a dedicated disability unit within the Aging and Disability Services. $160,000 has been budgeted to support the development of a disability unit within Aging and Disability Services, which will complement our policy team. In its initial phase, the unit will be led by a full-time program manager with an amended accessibility officer role within Aging and Disability Services covering both accessibility, compliance, and public awareness responsibilities. This unit will enhance care coordination and bring us closer in alignment with United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Its focus will be on improving accessibility and inclusion policy, strengthening services, and raising awareness to ensure that persons living with disabilities are fully supported and fully included in every aspect of our society. The Office of Aging and Disability Services will be able to continue with their hardship support service for our seniors who have no income or no family support. The K. Margaret Carter Center will also, under the 2026-27 budget, continue with the expansion of hours of programs and services to clients and families from 2:30 p.m. to 5:45 p.m. as families find it challenging to have their loved ones at home early during the day when they work. Therefore, this program will continue with its extended hours to 5:45 p.m. to allow family and caregivers to complete their full day of work and not have to worry about their loved ones. Capital investment will also continue for the development of a new seniors daycare facility at the former Furbert Institute site in Paget. $1.8 million has been provided for the continued design and renovation works. This facility will provide structured day programs, respite services, and recreational activities that promote dignity, well-being, and social connection for our aging population. The Office of Youth Affairs, youth engagement remains a key priority. This year, we will establish a National Youth Council to ensure that young Bermudians have a structured and meaningful voice in policymaking, creating new avenues for civic participation, leadership development, and dialogue. In addition, $20,000 is being provided to conduct a national youth survey. The Office of Youth Affairs will also continue staff training to better support neurodivergent youth, ensuring that its youth programs provide the appropriate care and assistance that they need. The 2026-27 budget allotment allows us to continue our extended day programs for children of shift workers at the Central Zone Community Center, extended weekend operation hours for the Western Zone Community Center, and expansion of the before and after and out-of-school programs at the Francis Patton, Elliott, and Purvis primary schools. Additional funding in the amount of $771,000 will support nursing homes and homelessness initiatives through a more comprehensive approach that emphasizes prevention, early intervention, and coordinated essential services. Some of the organizations include Meals on Wheels, Center Against Abuse, the Salvation Army, Age Concern, Home, Vision Bermuda, Tomorrow's Voices, and nursing homes. We are also modernizing the Charities Act to strengthen anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism safeguards, enhancing transparency, protecting organizations from exploitation, and reinforcing a public confidence in the public sector. We are taking practical steps to ease the burden of working families. Amendments to the Child Daycare Allowance Act will increase financial assistance for families with multiple children under the age of 4, helping to improve upon affordability and support workforce participation. Additional funding is provided for expansion of the Child Daycare Allowance Program. In addition, the income thresholds for financial assistance pensioners has increased from 500 to 800, allowing recipients to retain more of their earned income while maintaining essential supports. $1.5 million has been allocated for these amendments to the excluded income threshold. Further, to better address clients' mental health challenges and enhancement treatment outcomes, part of the additional funding is the $343,000 awarded to financial assistance, which will assist with the increase of the maximum number of mental health outpatient treatment services or sessions from 6 sessions per year to a maximum of 24 sessions per year. The maximum rate amended for mental health sessions was amended from $840 per year to $840 per month. The operational budget for the Department of Child and Family Services is $22.8 million. There is a proven need with the caseload numbers for the hiring of a second domestic liaison social worker to continue the work of the Family Preservation Program. Funding to hire 4 temporary additional residential care officers within the Brangman home and residential facilities. In conclusion, this budget is centered on people. It strengthens services for seniors, expands opportunities for youth and persons with disabilities, and provides meaningful relief for families. Together, we are moving forward responsibly, meaningfully, thoughtfully, and confidently for all Bermudians. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Once again, we welcome questions from the media.
Good afternoon, Minister Furbert.
Good afternoon.
My first question is, you mentioned the establishment of a youth council. Can you tell us what this will look like structurally?
Absolutely. Where we are in this current time with the National Youth Council, we currently have the National Youth Policy Working Group that is creating a terms of reference for the National Youth Council. We're going to create a steering committee first, and they will be responsible with coming up with what they want this National Youth Council to look like for them. And so we are currently at that stage. I think they're having a meeting soon to wrap the progression of where they want the steering committee to go and what that should look like. So we should be definitely hearing more in the near future about the progression of the National Youth Council.
Okay, thank you. And you also said that capital investment continues for the seniors daycare facility at Gilbert Institute. Can you give us an update on how work is going?
Yes, we are still waiting for planning approval for the initial architectural drawings for the seniors daycare facility. Once we have that approval, then we will look to break ground with demolition of some of the buildings that are currently at that site, and also check for asbestos as well. And we are hoping to break ground, hopefully, Benter, Minister Zane DeSilva is not soon enough, but they have given us the timeline by September of this year.
Okay. And with your ministry's budget, does it also support any notable expansion to nursing home beds to help accommodate, the pressures faced at the hospital?
So not under my budget, but it is allocation for increase in budget under the Ministry of Health.
Okay.
But my ministry supports financial assistance, which supports seniors to pay for nursing home beds and rest home beds And we actually increased that allotment, I believe, in October of 2023. The Department of Financial Assistance supports our seniors by assisting with payment of beds in nursing homes or rest homes.
Okay. And just lastly, with the creation of the disability unit, I was surprised to know that there wasn't already a unit in place. How important is it to you to see this, get off the ground?
This is definitely personal for me. I've waited a very long time to have something like this in place. It's to help us to progress in the area of strengthening our policies and legislation for persons with disabilities. So I'm very excited that we're able to move forward. Hopefully that disability unit can grow, but we have to start from somewhere. And so I'm actually excited with our policy team and the inclusion of an actual dedicated person for disability that will help to progress accessibility, policy, legislation for persons with disabilities.
Of course. And does this bring Bermuda in line with international standards in this area?
We have a lot of work to do, let's say that. But it is definitely a progression, and it is a start of something that we did not have before.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Minister, and thank you. Just one thing I wanted to check on from your remarks. You were talking about the child daycare allowance, and the increase to of financial assistance to families with multiple children under age 4. Can you sort of spell out what the threshold is? Is 2 or more, 3 or more, or?
Sure. So currently, we are looking at increasing the child daycare allowance according to how many children someone has. So right now, with the thresholds, it accounts for a single child, right? So the first band is 900, the second band is 700, the third band, which is the highest in the salary threshold, is 500. And so we are looking to make increases to the amount of child daycare allowance based on how many children someone has. So meaning a second child will get a little more, and a third child will get a little bit more to their child daycare allowance.
And that fits with those bands that you just spelled out?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So when I hear the disability unit, it makes me picture like an office. Is there a specific site? Is it going to be a K. Margaret Carter or?
No, it will be in the Office of Aging and Disability Services, which we're hoping to move soon, but it will be in that office.
And so there'll be folks specifically dedicated just to that?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you touched on the Gilbert Institute. We keep hearing, I know that one, that's specifically for seniors who are confronting dementia issues. I think around 50 or so residents could go into it.
Clients,
but
yes.
We do hear that this is there's a lot more of these coming for us. Do you have other facilities similar to what's happening at Gilbert Institute
So
in mind?
there are private nursing homes that provide daycare services as well. So this is a complement to those services that already exist. Keep in mind, during COVID, Sylvia Richardson and Lefroy Home both had daycare programs. But as we were encountering COVID and we could not mix population, seniors from the community into the nursing home settings, it created a risk for the residents that were living there. It is important that we have a separate and apart seniors daycare program, which we won't encounter that problem again. So it is an expansion of senior daycare programs, private ones that already exist. And also what's great about the Gilbert Institute site that there is, there's room there and there could be room for expansion. But right now, it is up to 50 clients. And while it will have a dementia focus, because we want to make sure we are including that population, it will have access for all levels and interests of seniors.
And you mentioned that one would be breaking ground in September. Roughly, and I know it's just hypothetical, but then at what point would you envisage potentially, hypothetically, it opening and taking clients in?
I'm sure the construction will go through to 2027, but definitely, if not the end of 2020, definitely 2028. Yes.
Righto. Thanks very much,
You're
Minister.
welcome.
All right, thank you. There are no further questions from the media, so that concludes this press conference. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us and have a great day.
Thank you.
Subscribe now. Bermuda Live on YouTube.